Hey, hey, everybody, welcome on in. It's Clay Share Day. And it's getting hot in the studio, so had to put on my awesome rainbow Clay Share t-shirt. Also because I love this shirt. All right, we have a great tutorial set for you with Jeff from GR Pottery Forms. Many of you know and love Jeff, as we do too, and we are so glad he's joining us on the Clay Share birthday. Jeff's been with us almost since the beginning, and we are thrilled to have him share some great techniques and tutorials with you all. If you are not familiar with Jeff, check out grpotteryforms.com. And Jeff's going to be doing a giveaway. He's giving, let's see what we got from Jeff, three $50 gift certificates. So you can use those at GR Pottery Forms. Plus, he is doing 20% off everything for today. So just go and buy whatever you need for forms. No code, just it's there. All right, let's see what Jeff's got. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, hello, everybody. I'm good.
We're so glad you're here with us on the birthday.
Oh yes, I can't miss the birthday party for sure.
No, you can have cake with us later, I hope.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Come on over.
We are. I came back to Michigan for the day just to celebrate and catch up on a few other things. But we have been in Ohio for the week at a little quaint little village called Lakeside. And they have an art center there, so I've been teaching there. Yeah, so yesterday and the day before a little bit, and so yeah, back for this, and yeah. So
we're honored you came back for us in the Clay Share birthday.
Oh yeah, can't miss it. Can't miss it. You guys are the best. So. Yeah, you can't miss cake. You can't ever miss cake. So
never miss cake day. All right. So what do you got for us today, sir? You always have something fun and interesting.
Yeah, I just the first part here, I don't know, we'll see how this goes, but I'm going to throw a curveball, and I want to, because we all know, and if you are new to clay, you need to know that failure is part of the equation, right? And so I want to talk about a failure here, because I wanted to show you that I'm constantly thinking about new things for you guys and new options. And so I'm hiding under here. I have a little trial that I was really excited about to release in the fall. But after experimenting, I do not think it's the right answer. So I wanted to just kind of quick go through that little bit of the process here, show these real quick. And then I think there's maybe at the end talk about a better solution. And then, yeah, and then I have some new forms that that I will show you at the end, and give you a little basic tutorial on those, especially if you're new to the community here and new to clay. I will show you a quick demo on how to use GR Pottery Forms, and then you can kind of go crazy. Just a general kind of basic look, but yeah. So here are some forms. Aren't these fun? Oh man, I'm awesome. So excited. Wouldn't they be great if this worked? And I think it can work. So like for those of you in your own studio, if you are able to build your own molds, this might be a fun thing to do. But the thing is, it's a little fussy and it's a little bit not sure win. It's not the ratio of success is not high enough for me. So so I therefore don't want to bring it out to you guys and have that expectation of easy, not necessarily easy, but a good solution. And I don't know if this is a good solution. So what happened is I was thinking that we could shove some clay down in these cracks and then drape some clay over top. And you can see how the clay like stuck to the form. And when putting it in the hole, that was one problem. And then number two, when it came out of when it was dry enough and was released, then there was these kind of fold marks and the top wasn't consistent. And then even where it attached to the slab was not very good. I would have cleaned this up more, but it was, you can kind of see. But I think these divided trays is a great option. And like this one I even this one I tried to just push the clay down in of the slab and then jam some more clay in there. And still the same kind of things happened, where we got these little bit of fold marks and things that cause some issues. One thing that I think was a good option with this is the depth of the forms. I figured we needed the biggest thing to make this material is 1.25 inches. So if you get above that, you have to really glue it together. But I believe this one was 1 1/8 inches. So this was it was really nice to see the depth that it would create to make a nice little tray. So maybe in the future we'll have some deeper forms that they're not really quite bowls. They're just kind of deep platters. But yeah. So I think, you know, that's the thing with clay, and I want everybody to know is this is more of the reason I'm talking about this is like there's these constant failures. So it's constantly, you may have here test. You have to enjoy testing, right? And just trying things out and going for it, and don't be afraid that it doesn't look like Jessica's, that it's not perfect. You know, and the fun part is to make them. So keep trying, keep making, and try to just kind of remember what happened wrong and what happened right, and then keep following the direction of the right instead of what went wrong, and keep pursuing that right. So yeah. So
I think there's a lot of great potential there that you have in front of you.
Yeah, you know, we were gonna route out some like big round ones to make like vegetable trays type of thing, but different compartmentalized containers. But I don't think it's really that easy. I don't know if I have one here. One thing though, I think the solution, and I haven't really dove into it too much, is Diamond Core Tools has some really nice extruders, and you could cut these little triangle shapes to add into your form, like your leather hard form, right? And then even though the rounds, you could make a round one and make a nice little moat for your vegetable dip or whatever kind of thing you want in the middle. So I think that might be a good solution. So maybe down the road, maybe Jessica will experiment with that, or I will experiment with that, and or you guys can experiment with that and let us know how it goes. And
somebody watching today is going to experiment with that before you or I do it, I hope. And then they'll share it and we'll be like, yes,
totally.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so I mean that's the thing with clay, right? Is like and that's what I'm hoping as GR Pottery Forms, is to start a foundation of exploration and making, and encouraging you to make things, and you know, with the regular forms, the regular shapes, it's there's lots of opportunity for success and more than failure. So so that's what I really want to kind of go with that. So unfortunately, sorry, these are not available, even though they may look cool. These are only samples. These are the only ones they have. I have a couple other little sizes too, but so unfortunately you can't have them. I'm sorry to be the better
to tease everybody.
Sorry to tease, but you don't want them. You really don't want them. So you know,
Are you
sure? I don't know. The front camera. You know what happens with these, right? They just go in the bucket. Make sure you have a bucket to throw those failures away. Make some new ones. Yes. So you know, we don't have to deal with failure. Let's just move on to success, right?
That's right.
Part is making and creating. So let's make a fun, some fun things, little trays that will make us happy in the future. So this, which is, I think hopefully some of you guys have been waiting for. There was quite a few requests when we had the spherical rectangles. Then when they came out to have some smaller ones. So these are specially made for you, especially you, the ClayShare community, and those have been asking for those. And I really believe that these small ones are are great, and they're the right size, and that's why I chose to make these as well, because one, to give you a new little something new to buy, right? But a new thing that will really be nice. This one really could be
I love that
fun
size.
a lot of things, right?
Yeah, that's a great size.
Yes. So this is the
I actually
4 by.
have it right here.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have them? Just me and you? Is that
No,
it?
just you.
Just me.
Yes.
I've got these, so I'm going to be playing with them later. But
Yeah, and 10
just going to
minutes
do
ago,
something. Yeah.
10 minutes I drove to pick them up. So there were like a few samples, and Jessica got them because of PlayShare, and had them just in time. Whew.
For the birthday. Woo!
A birthday present, right? So we
Thank you.
are now making them for you, and they'll be available to purchase online, but it'll probably be next week when we ship them out. Matt, unfortunately, also is off, not by choice. He had a little surgery last week, and so he is off for a few days. And Stevie here is working hard, but we probably won't get to them this week. Ship the orders out, but they'll probably ship out Monday and Tuesday. So, put your orders in, and yeah, we'll get them to you. But
they're up there now. People can buy them. They just can't. They don't ship yet. So they're on the site
exactly. Yeah.
with the 20% off. So
yeah. Yes.
wow.
And just
All right.
just today though, the 20% is off just for the
Yes,
special
today.
day today. And then if you're you'll have to look into your membership if you want to qualify for another PlayShare discount after tomorrow, basically. So yes, so we love to offer a discount for those that are members, and I think right that's when you're under the membership section there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
It is.
get 10% off normally, but and that's just on limited sizes, unfortunately. Hopefully by the end of the summer we'll have that fixed, so it'll be on more sizes. But as of right now, it's just on some of the individual sizes. But for today, the birthday day, everything.
It's the birthday.
Everything qualifies. So yeah. All right. So I'm going to make a little tray here. This is what you want as a positive feel good demo, I think, right? So one that failure talk. Start with the positive stuff here. But so what I did is I took the form and pressed it down into the clay to then I can kind of create a pattern around where that better pay attention to my design here. So now I can kind of make a pattern like where the rim would be, right? So this is a little wooden stamp. There's a lot of them out there. They're really fun, effective to buy. Sure, some of you have a few of them. And I'm just going to put this stamp texture right on around the outside here.
I like it very much. I like it. It has a nice vibe.
Thank you. I think the great thing though, I always have the liberty in doing these demos. They don't have this expectation of what the finished product is going to be, so I can just go for it. I can just put whatever stamp on there, right? But I guess why I say that is not to say, I get to do that. What I wanted to say is, you can do that too. You can try it.
I just want to clarify for today, the discount, there's no code needed. It's automatically done, right, Jeff? You did it. They don't.
That is correct. Yeah, automatic. So
auto magic. We like that. Auto magic.
Easy. Just go spend, ching, ching, ching.
What is that? Support a small business.
Yeah.
It's the ClayShare birthday. Why not? You don't have to buy me presents. Buy yourself a present on the ClayShare birthday.
One day a year.
That's right. Everybody should get themselves at least a present today.
Yeah.
Get something you want, folks. Whatever it is. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's GR forms.
Yeah.
I'm always wanting GR forms.
The larger sets, those have been really popular. We've been going through lots of those. So that might be the option for you, right? Is a whole set of round or spherical rectangles, right? All right, so my
And I'm just going
clay,
to quickly answer this question.
Sure.
The butter box bottom folks have been asking about. I have a prototype. We're working on it right now. It's not out yet, but we are in the middle of doing it. So folks, just hold on, probably another week. And when Jeff gets back from vacay, he and I'll talk.
yeah, you know, I saw the nice tutorial not too long ago, right? With that you did with making a butter dish with
Yeah, like a
butter.
standard. So there's different size butters in this world that we live in, which was new to me. I guess I grew up with we had East Coast butter, and then we had like the 1 pound block butter. That's what I like, Kerrygold and stuff that I like. But California's got short little butter sticks. So there's different butters, folks. So there's different dishes. There's a dish for every butter.
There's a dish for everyone.
That's right. And maybe we'll get a GR pottery form too.
Get to that studio and make one. Yes, we'll have some ideas for you for sure. We'll try to help solve some of your problems, but not all of them.
All your pottery problems, maybe.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. So as you see, I now I can because I put that little design imprint of the bottom of the form in there. I can now put the form back in there and re-situate it there. So see, it's going to have a beautiful little texture. And I always like to have multiple boards that are the same size that you can then do a little flip. This one is just you go to Home Depot. I don't think Lowe's may have it too, but I know Home Depot has it for sure. Maybe Menards if you're in a Menards area. But they have this, it's actually MDF also, and they have little sheets that you can cut up into some sizes. So that's where these are from. So now I'm going to just push this, again, if you're new, we're going to just push this edge kind of gently. The great thing about the forms and all this like kind of flat surface helps to divert all that texture. The pressure on the texture. So pressure on the texture. I like that.
Yeah, pressure on the texture.
Pressure on the texture. Keep the pressure on the texture, not on yourself. But yeah. So thankfully, what happens is that it dilutes all that pressure and will keep that texture, lovely texture underneath there. So yeah. So don't worry about like. If you, I mean, you have to press super hard to get that texture to be off from there. Yeah.
I bet your texture will be there.
Definitely.
I'm betting it's going to be there.
I keep promising, and I can't fulfill my promise of getting finished pieces done. But but this was a good example too. You may have saw the photo earlier from the class. Like this was using this felt, and right from Michael's, right in their felt section, they have these little, paper size sheets of 8 by 13 or whatever it is, 8.5 by 11 sheets of felt, and you can see how this delicate the little texture can be and how it can stay in there. And yeah, keeps it in there. So I will glaze these. Promise. I promise.
There's a joke about the felt dish in there somewhere, I guess, when it's done. The felt dish.
When it's glazed, it's
yes, when it's glazed. Felt my dish. I don't know.
I know. Some of us, I see it's all because I used to tease with one of my favorite people in the studio that she never would glaze any of her pieces, and so now it's all because I was teasing her about never finishing anything that it's coming back on me, like karma.
That's right. We have a few questions from the internets.
Oh, good.
One is, what size are these new spherical rectangles that you've got, the 2 new ones?
All right, great question. They are 3.5 by 5. This is a small little cute guy. Qualifies for cuties. It's not part of the cutie pack, but it would be in the family. And then the other one is a 4x8 that I'm using right now. So this would be a great one for a non-lidded butter dish. Like if you didn't put a lid on it, you just put a stick of butter to put on your table. This would be an excellent size for that.
I'm wondering if the lid from Debbie Delacruz's cutter will work with this bottom. Ooh, project for me. I know. And then the other question is that this person's Canadian supplier doesn't have all the forms yet. Do you ship to Canada? Will you ship to Canada?
We do, and we definitely. And I'm sorry, I don't know how often you guys order from the U.S., but we hear it's constantly the cost of shipping to Canada, and it's really unfortunate because of the border costs, and you know, they charge an extra duty and whatever for things coming across the border, so it can be quite expensive to ship, and and so we love to work with all the dealers. You know, it takes a while for them to get to go through their ordering cycles to get stuff, but definitely let them know if you want to order from them. You know, that's why in some places too, you may think the price is a little bit higher at the distributors, but that's because they have to pay that duty as well. So yeah, but yeah, we definitely ship. We all over the world. So I know there'll be some people from all over the world watching. So yeah, we'll ship anywhere that allows us to ship there. And I don't know, maybe Russia might be the only one that can't ship to at the moment, but maybe. And I don't know about Cuba if we can ship to Cuba or not. But we use Shopify, which this might be a good plug for those that are maybe having a clay business. Shopify is a wonderful e-commerce site that allows you to sell your products, and it creates a shipping calculator that you can use to that your customers can then decide what the shipping cost is. So basically, it does it all automatically. It charges you whatever the shipping cost is going to be, and it gives us our and then bills us for that shipping cost, and then it comes out of your credit card when you make payment. So yeah. So we don't charge extra for shipping. So you may think of like we're trying to gouge you with shipping costs. It's really what the carriers charge. So, you know, if you're on the other side of Canada, like British Columbia, for example, it's going to cost it's going to cost a pretty good amount of money, probably more than the product for sure.
Sometimes,
so
yeah.
Australia, definitely shipped to Australia, and some of the folks there kind of you know, experience that, you know, that the cost problem. So yeah, so that's why the 20% like now is a great time to buy, because you're going to save 20%, and you can then kind of dilute some of your shipping costs by doing it that way.
Yeah. So we had some folks.
Oh,
offset your shipping costs with the discount. So this comment was, I struggle with the sew tool. Any advice? You were just using it. That's why I thought it was perfect time for me to ask that question.
Yes, the sew tool. This is the sew tool. It is a funny little gadget, but I think what's nice is don't be afraid to like just like draw on your clay, because we can just use our finger and clean that little part that we drew right off, right? So don't be afraid to just kind of practice with it. It does take a little bit of a not perfect, but it gives us a good general idea, you know. And I know some of you are striving for perfection, and clay is a really good, difficult one for perfection. So in clay, it's imperfectly perfect, right? So you just got to go with it. I was teaching in my class yesterday with some people that I haven't ever really made things in clay for a while, and they were, you know, expecting for these big, beautiful things right away. But as you know, it looks easy sometimes, but can be kind of difficult. So do it. Just go for it. Don't worry about that's going to fail. You just keep it on, keep it on.
Well, you learn more by failure, right, than success. You got to learn, and then once you have it down, you'll succeed, and you keep on going.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, so you see that I'm just using the stew tool to draw that line on there. Shelby, can you run and get a bookmaker? Actually, what? I had one here. Never mind, I got one here. Sorry, I got one. I got one, Shelby. I left them all my tools back in Ohio.
Uh-oh.
But yeah.
But you got what you need, so you're set.
Yeah. And I don't know if you just saw, I was just altering this one to be a little bit.
You got one, sorry.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. You're too fast. Thank you. Katie Miller, who's coming on, she's amazing. You gotta drop everything to see Katie. The rest of the other stuff too. But Katie, I know is somebody that has like 3 or 4 different foot makers for different sizes of measurements. So you might have just seen me. Sorry, I don't know if it's on the top or pushing these in to make them a different depth, right, or different width. So some people. So I'm gonna just use this little foot maker corn skewer, and I think Jess has a class, right, to make one.
I use power tools and show you how to make a foot maker from a corn holder. It's, it's almost a little scary, actually. Whenever I do a class and I'm using power tools, it's a little out of my element. And I make it through, but I always worry the whole time, like, please just don't cut fingers off or anything. It's just, I think that in the back of my head. And I haven't, so it's working.
So what's that?
I haven't cut fingers off yet, so it's so yeah.
Yes.
But
you can see,
yeah,
no, you're not.
You're making some no. So you're making some skinnier feet. You adjusted your foot maker. I love that. Yeah, and Katie Miller, is that you were talking about, has the different size feet makers. You can make your foot maker in a size.
She can, maybe she's got a wide platter. She might have one kind of a wider.
Yeah.
And if she's got a kind of narrow, delicate plate, she might have a even narrower. And I know she loves to talk about it, but she was skeptical about the foot maker.
Well, she's been swayed now, right?
She's swayed, yeah.
Well, she'll be here at 4:30 doing a demos for Amico. So
yes.
Maybe she'll use some of those different size foot makers.
Oh man, she has tons of information. So yeah, even just the transfer is going to be plenty. But yeah. So and to be honest, and I know maybe some of you are this way too, but to be honest, really what I did was because I only had a certain width of clay to make the foot, I bent it a little bit narrower so that I could still not have to roll out more clay. But yeah, so let's see. I think I am going to score this one. The clay seems a little on the dry side. I only score if the clay and the foot are on the drier side. If the clay is nice and moist, I just put it right on there.
Slap it on.
Water sometimes can be a problem, especially if you're starting new. Try to avoid using a lot of water if you can. It's really makes it fun, makes it muddy, but that's when you slip. When you have mud. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna add a little foot. I love to add a foot because it really just elevates your piece.
It does. The foot, it elevates it.
Yes.
Literally. Figuratively. So visually and literally, question that I have from a viewer: do you sell your forms from your location? So somebody's just driving around.
Yeah.
They pop in and say, "Hey, Jeff."
Yeah, and if you can catch me, I'm hard to nail down, but definitely if you give us a warning and I'm around, I will be here. But
your head's a little piece. Sorry.
well, thank you. But yeah, we do have you can come here and shop. It's not like a traditional clay supply. Like we don't have like a showroom or like a sales room. We just have the shelves where we put all the forms on to kind of organize them. So it's fun. You can come and see where we are now here in my studio in the little space here. So yeah, I love visitors. I love giving tours. I'm hoping this fall, if everything goes as planned, is to have a tour. We are going to have a tour hopefully this fall.
Like an open studio tour?
No, like I'm going to go to all the big cities in the U.S. and we're going to have.
Oh, you are going on tour.
I'm going on tour. Yeah.
The Jeff J.R. Pottery Forum Rock Tour.
You got it. Yes.
Pottery Rocks Tour.
Coming to a city near you, hopefully here.
Yeah, you're gonna get a tour T-shirt with all the cities on it too. You come to Vermont.
Yeah.
And my studio might not be done, but you can come. You could sit outside,
Yeah, so
put up some tables.
That's right.
Well, October 1st and 2nd is Vermont Open Studio weekend for the fall. Just put it out there.
Oh. Uh-huh.
But for you, I'll do Open Studio anytime.
All right. But yeah, so I'm hopefully coming around, but if you are in the area, Michigan is a great place to come visit in this time of year. A little hot
So
today,
here's,
humid, but
yeah. Here's a question about an issue. This person's having a lot of cracking with their clay. What are they doing wrong?
Yeah, that happens in clay, right? Unfortunately, and a lot of times I think let's just start with the easy answer. That's a really complicated, can be a really complicated question. But typically, I think the easy answer is that you're probably using recycled clay that you've used over and over and over and over and over and over again. And sometimes the plasticity of the clay is not that great after so many times. I'm kind of losing some of that plasticity each time. So I'm a really big believer in using fresh clay. So if you're having problems with cracking, I would just try first is to use the clay fresh out of the bag when it's nice and moist and fresh, and yeah. But it's really probably a clay issue as opposed to like a forms issue. So talk to your clay supplier, the mud clay supplier. They love. They may not seem to sometimes, but they really do want to help you with those kind of situations. That's why otherwise they would sell cars or something that's way easier to sell, right? So they do have a passion for clay, most of them. So yes, be nice and ask sweetly, and they will help you. But I don't know if sometimes too, if you press really hard, like I had somebody in the class yesterday who made lines in the clay as a design, and basically it's squishing that clay super thin. So that's another time when you might get a crack. If it's in the design that you're doing, then maybe your design is too deep, or the clay is not thick enough. Or another one too is like if you have a large foot, a large lip, which I really like large lips on my pieces, but they can sometimes cause the clay to have you stress right here underneath the foot, right on the edge of the foot there. So make sure that you're building that part up. So, but these are the things, like if you're making a pie and it doesn't quite turn out right, you get somebody that really likes to eat pie, then you try making another one. And you keep making another one until it's the one you like. Yeah, and then it'll be so good that everybody wants to eat your pie. So yeah, but you have to make more than one to But anyway, so cracking sometimes is this one of those unfortunate failure parts of clay that we have to try to figure out what is going on. But compression is a good part of the equation. But usually it's if it cracks in a random spot, it's probably something wrong with the plasticity of the clay. Whether it wasn't mixed quite well, or by you mainly. When it comes out of the machine, it's pretty good. But yeah, if it sat around for a year before you used it and then pulled it out and this is not working quite like you thought. Do you have any other ideas just for that question?
I
Probably get that a lot.
Yeah, I get it a lot. Really, it comes down to the dryness level. It's like what you were saying, recycled clay can be part of it because it's a little too dry, or clay that sat out a little too long and dried out a bit too much. And that usually causes cracking, like when you're draping it over the form, if you're getting, cracking on the where it curves.
Yeah.
And you didn't put too much pressure. If you put too much pressure at the feet or with the wah, you'll get the bottom just pop right off. I've had that happen. So,
Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah.
So we had a question on your big grand tour that you're going on. Are you going to be in Denver or Orlando when you go on your grand tour?
Yeah. Denver, that's not quite on the list, but it could be.
Maybe. How about Orlando?
Orlando, yes. Orlando, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely Orlando.
All right. Jeff's going to Orlando.
I can't tell you the date yet, but there is an art teachers conference. So part of the tour will be tied in with some of these art teachers conferences that are happening in the fall, and others. So if I'm in the area, I'm gonna, So yepper.
Awesome. So do you recommend having two sets of forms if you're using white clay and dark clay? Like a light clay and a dark clay form?
That really depends on how particular you are. I know it can be super annoying to, especially like red clay, and then it just kind of gets all over. If you like using red clay, I would suggest getting a set for the red clay. But I switch back and forth between this like buff brown clay and the white clay, and it doesn't really seem to, when it dries, you can't even tell what's the white and what's the brown. So it doesn't usually affect things at all. So one thing though, I would, maybe some of you know that are super clean freaks, that if you keep washing your forms after you use them, the wood starts to get kind of pilly and kind of soft. So I would avoid water if you can. You definitely can, if it starts growing mold or whatever, you want to clean it, like clean the red one off. You definitely can do that. But yeah, it's so it's just personal preference. I definitely recommend multiple forms anyway if you're going to sell your work, because you want to be able to make a bunch of them in one day. So having multiple of each size really can help in that. So you can definitely like press, especially with these little guys, you can press them into foam. But I think there's a max that you can press before you want to let it dry, because then the wood from that repeated pressure and moisture can start to separate a little bit too. So that's not the ideal situation for the forms too. So, but if you're draping them and letting them dry, and taking them away from that wet clay after 24 hours, within 24 hours, you can have these will last and let them dry completely before you use them again. They'll last forever and ever and ever. So it is amazing how that can happen. And sometimes you do get some cracks when in the sides of them, where they start to separate from having the wet on there too long. The beauty is that when you get them wet again, it almost like heals itself. So it's kind of,
I've never had a form of yours like come apart. Like I've never had a GR pottery form like delayer itself on me. I mean, I've used them, and I've used them for a while and stuff. So they do hold up a lot.
Yeah, like where if you use like plywood or another type of wood, have had those around, and those do tend to separate too. Have you had that experience?
Oh yeah. Plywood definitely will delaminate and pull apart on you after a bit. So here's another question. I had plates that were stacked in the bisque firing and they cracked. Is the cracking due to them being stacked on each other in the firing?
Only if I don't, it's I used to stack, do production like where we make like 160, 200 plates a week, and you'd stack them 3-4 high, and it's rare. Like, sometimes there is, that bottom one can kind of get cracked if you stack them a little bit too high, but so I do what's comfortable, which you feel comfortable with. A lot of times what I would do is let them dry out on a flat piece of board, and then once they're bone dry, then stack them. And you can kind of feel like, like what the durability is, if you want to risk stacking 3 high or 4 high or just 2 high or just 1 high. So definitely if you spend a lot of time, I wouldn't take the chance of risking put a lot of decoration work in there. I wouldn't risk stacking them, but if you're just making simple plates, then yeah, I would stack them for sure. Good question.
Is a good question. And I think it also depends on sizes and weight distribution and the clay and your kiln shelf, if it's completely flat or if it's warped at all.
Yeah.
There's a ton of variables that there's never any cut and dry answer. I love helping folks when they have troubles with, their pottery and stuff, but there's so many tiny things that can affect how something turns out that you need to know everything. And, there's a million different ways to do the same thing, right?
Yes, totally. And that's why, kind of, again, why I want to talk in the beginning of, like, you have to be okay that it's not going to work, because it just makes you happier when it works.
Of course. Here's a question. Could someone use plastic between the form and the clay?
I would not. We just, Mike started talking about this class, and it was fresh in my head here. We use wax paper to kind of separate the underglaze that we decorated them. It was kind of a 1-day class, so we kind of had to cheat a little bit, and we put some wax paper under there. I probably have showed you that once or twice in here, but the thing is, it also changes things when you do that. So it's not an ideal scenario. So if you don't have to, if you have time for it to watch it and let it dry, I would not do that. But if you have to rush things, like you're teaching a class, then that can help. But basically, it's going to prolong that drying. It's not going to. I don't think it's going to help prevent cracking or that kind of stuff. It's just going to delay everything. It's just a delay factor. It's not a solve cracking issues problem solver. That helps.
Can you believe we only got 2 minutes left?
2 minutes left.
2 minutes. 2 minute warning.
All right. Yeah,
the triangle design you used, that was a stamp? Was that a stamp? The triangle you used on the
stamp. It was MKM.
Little MKM 6. Triangle. Number 6. Okay, MKM number 6.
Yeah, it's got triangular shape. It's got 2 different patterns on each end. Moldy. But yeah, we have this discount. So this will be the last chance we'll get this 2% place share discount, or 20% off. Not 20 for a while. So it's a great chance, like I was saying, internationally. And we're getting these forms in just today. So it'll be, I really like to have them in here before we do this, but it just happened that didn't work out this week. So you can order them today. Today is the day to get the percent off, and next week is when we'll ship them. So
that is so awesome. Yeah. So, all right, Jeff, we're out of time, sir, sadly, but I'm so glad you joined us for the birthday. enjoy the rest of your vacay. Go back to vacation and have fun. And we'll see you later. Maybe you'll be back next week and we'll chat about that butter dish bottom.
Yes. Sounds
All
good.
right, Jeff.
All right,
Thanks.
great.
All
All
right, and there we have it. Jeff from GR Pottery Forums is always a joy and a fun time to have Jeff joining us here. And so, you know, he has the rectangular spherical forms, and here they are stacked up. But the new ones that he just released are these itsy beansy little babies, and they're super cute. So you can get those as part of the 20%. You get the bigger set too. And, you know, if you need templates for the rims, we have downloadable rim templates for GR Pottery Forums. And we did do the handled platters for all the rectangles, the spherical, the rounded, and the regular. Check those out. And those are 33% off today for everybody. And premium members of ClayShare get their extra discount for the downloadable rim templates. I'm going to be showing those later, though, so we won't talk about that now. All right, so GR Pottery Forums, today only 20% off, no code needed. Get the forms you need today. Give yourself a present for the ClayShare birthday. All right, we're going to take a tiny break, like we have been in between, and we're going to be back with Paula McCoy from Colors for Earth, and she has something very special to share. The tutorial that she's going to do right now, when I saw what it was, I was like, oh, I need to know how to do this. And you're going to feel the same way. So I'll see you all back here, and she's joining us at 3:30 Eastern.